Good morning, it's Jeff at Budrum here, and Wilma's with me on the camera, and this morning I'm going to make a fish stock. So what I'm going to do first of all is, now what I've got is a snapper frame and a snapper head, and what I've done is I've taken everything, all the gills and the guts out and taken all the blood out of it, and I've already eaten the wings, so that's my best part, so there's no wings in it. And now what I'm going to do, I've never done this before, and what I'm going to do is weigh the whole thing, and I've got these electronic scales here. Just going to press it on there, and I'm just going to see how much weight this whole thing is. Got two frames and a bit of a tail, so there's bits and pieces there. Now, righto, we've got 570 grams. So this weighs in 10 gram increments, so you can't get it, you know. So we've got 570 grams, so I've got to write that down. And I've got a saucepan with 2 coffee cups of water in there. I'm just going to cook it up, and I'm not going to let it boil rapidly. I'm just going to let it simmer and let the whole thing break down. Now, I'm devoting this whole video to the fish stock, and so I want to talk a bit about it. And I want to mention that half of the world could live on what the other half throws away. So sadly, there's a lot of these fish frames get thrown away. Now, I had a good long discussion with a food scientist from the Department of Primary Industries in Queensland, and he told me that most of the omega-3 oil is around the head and the wings and the stomach area and around the bones. So that's the part that most of the people throw away. So as you might have, if you saw my other videos, you'd realise that I'm a sort of a commercial fisherman, and my line of fishing is snapper and pearl perch and just line fishing. Now, the chap I sell my fish to told me that he only uses 40% of the fish. Well, we keep the guts and the gills in, so you got 10% of the fish is in the guts and the gills, so you don't use that. But 50% of the fish is discarded, which is a bit of a shame, really. So what I'm going to do is make the stock, cook it down. I'm not going to let it boil rapidly, as I said before, because you get that real fishy flavour if you boil it too hard. And we're going to use this stock later on for a pumpkin soup. So I've got just about covered most of what I wanted to say. So what I want to do is I'm on a one-man mission to educate the Western world to not waste their fish frames. And if I encourage one person in the world to not throw their fish frames away, well, I've achieved something. So that's it. So what I'm going to do is make the stock and then strain all the bones and everything out, and then weigh it after. So what do we get? 570 grams. Okay, so we're going to come back a bit later when we get a bit further advanced. Okay, so you can see what's happening here, that everything's just broken down. I've just got it on a real low simmer, so I'm just letting everything break away from the bones, and just using this wooden thing here to just sort of pat it all down. And I'll just let it simmer for another 5 minutes, and I'll strain it all. Okay. So what I've done is I've put my strainer on the scales, and I've got it on tear back to 0, so you can sort of see what happens when you put it back on. You're back on 0. So I'm going to strain the fish stock through the strainer, just to excuse my arm. Just use these tongs so that it doesn't splash everywhere. You can't use every frame that you bring home, obviously, if you get a good load of fish, but you can certainly use a fair bit of them. I had these in the freezer. Looking forward to seeing what the outcome is here. So let's return when we get a bit of this out, won't we? The last bit out.
Just straining the last of the stock out now, and he's going to weigh the residue to see how much weight is left after he's taken what he wants out of it. Right, so how much is in there, Ted?
440. We've got 440 left. So we had 130 grams of stock came out of that.
That's all the omega-3s and the oil.
Yeah, beautiful, all the good stuff, yeah. So what I'm going to do is put this in the refrigerator, and when it cools down I'll show you what happens. Again now, I cooled our stock down, and as you can see what it's done is it's formed a beautiful jelly, and you turn it on the side, and so that's what you're looking for in your fish stock. You can see when it forms that beautiful jelly that it's just chocolate block full of goodness. So what I worked it out, didn't sound like much, 130 grams, but just doing a rough calculation, it's been a fair while since I've been to school, but I think it worked out just a little over 22% of the fish came out in the form of stock, which is a fair bit considering, you know. It's so I hope I've inspired somebody to maybe not throw away a fish frame or a fish head, and when you consider you're throwing away really good food and good nutrition. While I was waiting for this to cool down, I went out and dug some spuds, and I'm going to make some pumpkin soup this afternoon. I'm going to put some of these Kiflers in there, and that was off one Kifler plant, and that's the best one. It's not a bad specimen. Then I dug about 7 or 8 Sebagos, so that's out of my Sebagos. So I'm making room to grow my last row of pink eye potatoes for the season. So winter's nearing a close now, so we'll be planting spring veggies soon, and looking forward to that. So in the meantime we'll have heaps of spuds to eat. Okay, well how are we going for time there, Wilma? Do you want to add something about this stock, or?
I just want to add that it's a very good base for soups, casseroles and stews, and very nutritious addition to whatever you're cooking, and gives a beautiful depth to the flavour of the dish that you're making. Is there anything else that you would like to say, Jeff?
Well, yeah, I just really wanted to mention is that if you're going to make some fish stock, the two main thing is to just make sure the frame's nice and clean, get all the blood out of it and the guts and the gills, and then just don't overboil it. That's the main thing, you know. And you have a beautiful stock that's full of nutrition and omega-3 oil, and you're not wasting the good stuff. And anyway, I hope I've inspired somebody, or we've inspired somebody, and we'll catch you next time. All the best. Bye.